Hello and welcome to KHM Today. I am your host, Carolyn Orff. February is a short month, but it is chock full of fantastic dates to celebrate. Not only did we celebrate the Super Bowl last week, but we have President's Weekend coming up this weekend. We have Valentine's Day, we have Mardi Gras, and we also get to celebrate Black History Month all month long. But today, you guys, is National Umbrella Day. It is a day to celebrate the golf umbrella, the pocket umbrella, and the drink umbrella. I mean, does it get any better than that? I mean, it's February. So such incredible excitement today on KHM Today. We have Gary Murphy from Amma Waterways. We've got a fantastic KHM connection, KHM at home, and a really, really special tech tip for you. So I can't wait to get started. Chantel is back from vacation with the headlines. Welcome, Chantel. We're so happy to see you.
Hello, our beautiful host. Good morning or good afternoon, agents. Happy almost Valentine's Day. I'm wearing my red just for you. So let's start out with the headlines. We have a lot of them today. First of all, Delta Airlines has reported that they will keep the middle seat open through April 30th of 2021, as well as they are only offering properties, international properties, that are offering in-hotel testing for travel through April 30th, 2021. Very good news. Second headline of the day. Okay, for those of you who don't think cruising is coming back, guess what? It is. Oceania sold out in one day their 180-day world cruise. So I'm a believer. It's coming back. What an announcement. That's amazing. Our third headline for today, Walt Disney World. They are adding some properties to their Gateway Hotel collection. Now, these are hotels that are off-site, and this is going to be towards the west entrance. You can find all this out on the Disney Travel Agents portal, but it's going to be a Residence Inn, a Fairfield Inn and Suites, Homewood Suites by Hilton, and a Home 2 Suites by Hilton. So they have announced as of yesterday that you can book these as part of a package through Walt Disney World Travel Company or by calling into the reservation center. So that's some good news, more hotels. Our next announcement was just announced today. And again, everything that I'm talking about, you can find in the announcements on our Agent Only Facebook page. This one is Globus Family of Brands has announced that all guests will be required to provide proof of a COVID-19 vaccine, negative test, or virus immunity in order to travel. This goes for all of their brands, Globus, Cosmos, Monograms, and Avalon River Cruise. So please read up on that. It's also in the Globus Travel Agent portal as well, but this is very important to know, and maybe just the tip of the iceberg. We'll see.
Awesome. Thank you, Chantel. We're so happy to have you back. Do we have one more?
Oh, I'm sorry. I had one more. I'm sorry.
We do have one more.
We did. No, that's okay. As you know, if you haven't seen yesterday and today, Marriott International is adding 19 resorts, Blue Diamond resorts, to its Autograph collection, which means they're adding a total of 7,000 rooms across 6 Caribbean and Latin American destinations: Mexico, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, St. Lucia, Costa Rica, and Antigua. Please read the articles that I have posted. So that is it. Have a wonderful day, and back to you, Carolyn.
Chantel, this is going to be fascinating to see how this impacts travel agents and bookings to Royalton Resorts. I know they're a favorite of many of ours, and
Yes.
if clients are able to book those with points now, what the commission structure will be really interesting to watch. So we'll be sure to keep agents up to date on that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So good to see you again.
Good to see you.
You guys, we're so excited to welcome our industry expert today, Gary Murphy, who is Senior Vice President of Sales and co-owner of Amma Waterways. We're also going to welcome to the conversation Virginia Buscemi. For those of you guys that watched Virtual EDU, you know she is passionate about river cruising and the river cruising experience. So when we knew that Gary was joining us, we had to invite Virginia to the conversation as well. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you, Virginia. It's great to see you again.
Good to see you, Gary and Carolyn.
So Gary, typically we don't start the conversation with, tell us a little bit about your company. But the story behind Amma, I think, is so fascinating, and it just connects with people so well. Do you mind just giving us a little bit of a background about how you guys came to be, your role, because I know you weren't always with Amma, and Rudy's role as well, and of course, Christine.
Certainly, but first of all, I didn't celebrate the Super Bowl, Carolyn. Okay,
I am so glad that I didn't ask you what your favorite commercial was then.
No, actually, I did watch the game, but I didn't look at it as a celebration, I guess. So the company, yeah, Rudy, Christine, myself, all come from different backgrounds, but sort of very similar backgrounds. I was running a company my father started called Brendan Tours. My dad started Brendan Tours back in 1969. I had just joined the company after a 5-year sabbatical working for a small charter airline that operated, 737s and 727s called Miami Air. So I came back, joined my dad, and it's like in 2000, I became president that year of the company. And Dad had formed a relationship with a gentleman over the years named Serba Illich, and Serba started UniWorld. Before that, it was Love Holidays, and he wanted us to help sell his river ships. And he had hired Rudy Schreiner to put his product line together. And Rudy had identified what was happening in Europe by the completion of the Main-Danube Canal. That's the canal that connects the Rhine and Danube, and that was finished in 1992. And then Europeans started introducing European-style river ships later on. Rudy identified that was becoming popular, chartered some of those, and actually then got into designing and building some of those with UniWorld. And Brendan was selling into their product line. And then Rudy was approached by Tor Hagen to put the Viking fleet together for Europe, to develop that program. And they were also looking for like a core account to help launch, sell into their ships. So Brendan then was selling UniWorld and Viking. Rudy met Christine Karst at Viking. Christine being involved in sales and in group department, really intricate part of the success of starting that business. So my father and Rudy and Christine got together and said, why don't we start our own river cruise line business? Called it Amma Waterways. We did change the name to Amadeus Waterways. I continued running Brendan Tours up until 2009. We sold Brendan Tours in 2006 to Travcorp. And my contract was to stay on 3 more years, and I did. It was a great relationship. They were great partners. But then I came on to Amma in 2009, and we started off, chartering our first ship. And I remember my father having me sign a personal guarantee, and my wife asked me, what does that mean? And my dad said, my wife, that means if he doesn't fill the ship, you lose the house. So it was great motivation. But you say today, it's great that we have this year we'll have 25 ships without any debt on any of the ships, and helps us just manage through this process. And it's been a wonderful, wonderful ride.
It's amazing how you're all interconnected like that. And I think probably helps with some of the philosophy behind the company is being tight knit and really having an emphasis on people, both clients and staff.
I mean, Rudy says anyone can build hardware, right? And Rudy's background is actually he's trained as an architect. His background, anyone can build hardware, but it's the software that makes a difference. It's your crew, it's the ingredients you put into your culinary, into your food on board, it's your policies, and it's how we work with you, our partner. All of our business comes from you, our travel advisor community, and we don't do that from altruism. We do it because we know it's the best way to do business, especially in today's environment. You and your travel advisors know where the business is and know where those people are that will start traveling with us as when it all comes back. So we love this symbiotic relationship.
That's amazing. So you guys, when we had our little conversation before the show, you had mentioned, our big word has been pivot. What sort of pivots are we constantly having to take? And you all needed to do that, but had a really different one than really any of our other guests in the last, 6 weeks when it came to how you pivoted and moved your business starting in March to currently. Do you mind sharing with everyone how you did that and what it looked like?
Well, one thing we're very good at is adapting to change. We're a tightly held company, so we can make decisions very quickly. Sometimes we will do a fire-ready aim, but we learn from that and we'll correct upon it. Right when things happen, we recognized that we have to come up with clear policies. And we came up with a policy that if your clients take the future cruise credit, then they get 115%. We pay the commission on the original date. And when they travel in the future again, they earn it, you earn a 10%. So we're continuing that program as we move through. I know it's difficult, but it made sense. We refunded everyone that wants a refund. It was interesting in April when travel advisors are going, where's my refund? The amount of money going the opposite way out of the company was so great that the credit card processors couldn't facilitate the volume. So they're used to sending money to us, not the other way around. But thankfully, it all got up to running, and everyone that wanted them got the money, wanted the money, got their money back. But what we did is then we reached out to some people in Europe, because within the European community, ships were still cruising. So we partnered with a European tour company called Ehoy, and we started promoting our product in Europe, and we sailed successfully from July until November, just with one ship. But we handled over 1,600 clients. We didn't have one COVID incident on board because we followed these different protocols, and it worked. And the travel experience was really great for the client. We could only operate with 100 guests on board. That was the protocols. So it was easy to keep people distance. When you ate in the dining room, you ate at the same table every night. When our shore excursions, we always had small groups on the shore excursions. So when they said you have to operate with groups less than 20, we were already doing that. So it was enabling us to facilitate that type of travel. And it was like a test run. We sort of tested out the protocols on the Europeans. So if those are put in practice when we first open up for this year, we're prepared.
And it was easy to sell, like you had no problems filling those ships to capacity?
Well, we could only fill it to 100 guests. Our guests, our ships, our standard fleet's 154 guests. The Amma Magna, which is twice the width, twice the size, is like 194. But even on that ship, if they have the same protocols, it'll only be 100 guests. But it sold well. We actually had some guests that took 3 back to back. I saw about the announcement of the 180-day cruise selling out, the worldwide cruise. Yeah. We're finding right now clients are booking longer cruises. Next year, we have a lot of people who are booking back-to-back cruises. And so we come out with policies to serve that market. Like right now, if you book a back-to-back cruise, your guest, your client gets a 10% discount on the second cruise. People are taking longer vacations when they're booking out. We're booking the pre and post programs. That's why we've come out with these complimentary, like 3 nights in Prague for free, because people, and it's attractive. You and I are pent up. When I go on my next vacation, it's going to be a minimum of 2 weeks, a minimum. And we want to work with them.
That's amazing. Virginia, I want to make sure I give you an opportunity to jump in here.
Well, I think you're going to ask this question, but I'm going to go ahead and ask it. Looking
is it
at
a hard
the
one,
future,
Virginia? Is it a hard question?
No.
Okay.
Especially for you, it's not hard. Looking at the future, how can we help travel advisors move big ship cruisers to river cruising?
When we launched this business, we went after the escorted tour client. We thought that's because that's what our background was. We thought that was the market. We're 180 degrees off mark. Everyone came from ocean to river. And that sort of ebbed for a while. The market, it still had some organic growth. But now we're seeing more than ever before, ocean to river. People are identifying small ships. They want to go on small ships. And the best way is to enlighten them and educate them. We did last year from April to the end of the year over 2,000 presentations, virtual presentations with our travel advisor partners and their clients. Virginia, we don't mind if it's only 4 people on the call. We will do it. I will do it.
Yeah,
And
that's
just
fantastic.
because they have no clue. I mean, like they'll ask questions like, well, is there a crew on board? Because they have no idea. How big are these? Do you sleep on them? So we can really help identifying what the benefits of river cruising and make them feel that much more comfortable. I saw the announcement about Globus Family of Brands, great company, and their requirements about having either a COVID test or some proof before you board the ship. What you have to remember about river cruising, you're already within the countries themselves. You're not an ocean ship requesting to dock in the country with the fear that the country might change their mind and not let you in. And that's one of the biggest fears cruisers have. On river cruise, the airline is going to have protocols to board the aircraft, but to go through immigration and enter into Schengen, enter into that grouping of European countries with open borders, they're going to require some sort of a protocol, some sort of testing, some sort of proof. But once you're within that country, like when we were sailing with the German market, and we had Austrians, we had Germans, we're going through France, we're going through the Netherlands. We were treated as citizens of the country because they're already within those countries. And we believe once the Americans are allowed to go in, whatever proof is required to enter, then you'll operate and cruise as anyone else would in that destination. So we just have to share that knowledge, introduce them, talk about the shore experiences, talk about the ship is not the destination. It's all the great experiences right offshore. And we'll work with you. We beg to work with you on these virtual cruise events and introduce river cruising to those ocean-going clients.
And isn't the Amma Magna a great choice for big ship cruisers?
I love the Amma Magna. The Amma Magna is stuck on the Danube because her hips are too wide. She can't get to the Main Danube. She's stuck on the Danube. 4 different restaurants. The average cabin size is 355 up to 710 square feet. We built the Magna because we knew there was a market for when you have your guests that want those bigger suites on the ocean-going vessels, and they're afraid to go on a river cruise because they believe we're packing everyone in, which is not the case with Amma. And it's been a great, successful adventure. It's a great, successful venture. And, yes, introduce them. If they have any concerns about cabin sizes, introduce them to the Magna, and it's all about the luxury of space on that ship.
Yeah, and the suites are amazing.
The suites are amazing. Yes.
Gary, sorry, go ahead, finish, please.
The full balconies, a theater, a full spa, 4 different restaurants. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I did the Magna. My last cruise was over New Year. If you ever want to go on a cruise that is just a 7-day great time, go on a New Year's cruise. The fireworks and lints, people would go to the Czech Republic and buy these really professional fireworks they import from China or they make in Czech Republic, the type you see at your ball games. But it's all these yahoos on the banks of the river lighting off these professional grade fireworks everywhere. Everywhere. It goes on for like an hour. Fantastic.
Your positivity emanates from your entire being. I see it in your face, your body language, just everything about you screams motivation and positivity. What keeps you going as a company and also personally to say, we got this? I'm still excited about the industry. I'm still excited about the product.
Well, Caroline, first I want to recognize that a lot of people are going through a really, really difficult time. I mean, a really, really tough time. And it can be debilitating. What I try to do, and I do, is when I wake up in the morning, I physically decide that I'm going to have a good day. I physically decide, because otherwise, if I think of all the downside, it'll drag me down. So I physically decide I'm going to have a good day. I get up early in the morning. I get outside. Morning light is really important to developing the attitude for the day. Even if it's only for 10 minutes, just get outside and look at all the different benefits that we do have. When I was 16 years old, my father, he was founder of the United States Tour Operators Association. He was the founding president. And I was at a USTOA conference in the North Shore of Hawaii. And he knows I like to surf. He brought me along with him. And then at the end of the day, when he'd be at his meetings all day, he took me down to a friendly family home, and he brought me out the end of the dock, and the sun was setting. And he said to me, Gary, you're going to have some very difficult times in your life ahead of you. But just remember moments like these, because those difficult times will pass and you'll have more memories like these. So I try to think of that. I do think of that, and I recognize that this will pass. We are going through a historic event, a historic challenge, but it will pass. 2022, we're screaming ahead in sales, advanced sales more than any other year as percentage terms in the history of the company. You touched upon it earlier. People want to travel. People have this pent-up demand. Many of them have money in the bank, and once they can travel, they will book and they will go, and we will all benefit from that. It's just holding on to our sanity, believing in each other and believing in yourself, and knowing we can all get through this.
That is a message that we've heard from our industry experts for the last 6 weeks, and it's amazing that it is the same for each person, that they have to get in that mindset every morning and make the choice. And I think that's what we're having to do. I know I have this discussion with my children every day. You know, I know you hate not being in school, but we have to make a choice to get up and do what we need to do. And I think I might just have to start putting, you know, pictures around the house of all our wonderful vacations as a reminder. This is why we do what we do, so that we can do these things. Chantal is saying we have some questions. Let's go ahead and take some of those.
Hi, Gary.
Hello.
So we have some great questions here. Let's see. Karen would like to know, so you can see me too. Many people have the mindset that quote unquote old people do river cruises. How do we convince younger clients that they fit the demographic as well?
Okay, you know what the sad thing is? I am now older than our average age with Amma.
Oh no.
Our average age is 59. And when you look at our itineraries and you look at carrying bicycles on board, when you look at, we have hiking excursions, culinary excursions, fast-paced walking tours, wellness instructors on board. There are certain river cruise lines that target the older market. We like targeting the broad spectrum, and it's working. I mean, with Amma Waterways, you can get on a bike in Linz and ride all the way to Passau 63 miles later and meet the ship in port. I've done this with the group, and I can tell you, the person leading the pack was a lot older than I was. So look at age. We like doing special event cruises, like wine cruises. Our youngest groups are on our wine cruises, and they're also the highest rated, where we have a wine expert on board. We have additional wines on board that we ship in from other parts of the world. They attract a younger clientele. It's just getting them on board. I have now they're 23 and 25, but when they're in their late teens, they've done a couple of river cruises. We were going to Bali one year, and they were complaining about the flight times. And Emma, my older daughter, said, Dad, why didn't we not just take another river cruise? And I'm all, really? Getting out your nose of Bali. You know what? For their age, was they're 18 and 19, they would go on a walking tour, get the lay of the land of the town they're in or the city, and then go on their own. They had their phone, they had the phone number of the ship. If they got lost, we'll find them. But it's those types of experiences river cruising provide that attract a younger clientele, and it is great for all ages.
Wonderful, thank you. Lawrence would like to know, do you have any idea when you'll be sailing out of France? He has clients are getting frustrated because they can't get some dates.
Okay, hold on. My crystal ball is in pieces.
I know. Sorry.
We wish it were tomorrow.
I know.
I would love to go. You know what? It depends on what time of day you ask that question, what my answer is going to be.
Right.
We don't know. We don't know. We are suspending 45 days out. And we're going to keep going that. We can get up and running our ships within 45 days. We're ready. We've kept our crew. We have our team in place. We've had them in place for a long time. We're ready to go, but it's really outside of our control. I'm feeling it's really going to take the vaccines impacting everybody before things really start opening up. The clients are saying we're going to start cruising in August. It's interesting. You look at our bookings, March, April, people are moving late July, August. So the clients are saying we're going to start cruising in August. I'm hoping like May, but again, it's a coin toss.
Another question we have, there are so many different river cruise companies out there. Why would we want Amma?
Because I'm asking for you to want Amma.
Because Gary said, that's all. Okay.
You know, I'll tell you this. We're not all things for all people, Amma. We're not all inclusive, but we're more inclusive. The all-inclusive folks will say, oh, I have open bar the entire time. But when you go on a culinary excursion, they'll charge you $250. Or the all-inclusive person will say, and we don't, all of our shore excursions are included. They'll say, oh, we're all inclusive, but if you eat our specialty restaurant, it's $300. Well, you eat our specialty restaurants, they're included. But we design the itinerary and where we believe we give the best value and best experience for your clients. We don't include the bar. We have an open bar an hour before dinner. We have sparkling wine, champagne for breakfast, beer and wine for lunch. That bar before dinner, during dinner, you have your beers and wines. But after dinner, if you want a gin and tonic, you can sign it to your room. Because we have a younger clientele, over half of our guests go ashore after dinner because they recognize if I'm in Vienna and the ship is overnighting in Vienna or leaving at 3 in the morning, I'm going to go to Vienna and I'm going to have some, cocktails in Vienna, or I'm going to go to a beer hall in Cologne, which is much more interesting. So we look at it as why have those people subsidizing the drinks for those people staying on board. And we really include good wines, and we change the wines up every day. So it's a balance. If you go with us, and if there's a problem, we'll address it before your clients get back. Virginia was talking about last time we were together was when there's low waters. Where we had cruises impacted by 7 days from the low water, at the end of the cruise director got up there and said, okay, I know we didn't do the itinerary. I know we didn't go up the Rhine. I know we did the Netherlands and Belgium, and that's not what you purchased. I'll tell you what, we're going to give you all a free future cruise. We had people applauding. Yeah. We had people booking those cruises within 2 weeks because they knew we were giving a free cruise if we didn't sail. And then we had people, the river opened up, and then we did the Rhine, and they wrote a complaint letter that they got what they actually purchased, and they were hoping that we would be fought from going so they get a free future cruise. True story. Okay, wow. So we empower our people on board to make those changes. If we're going to do something, we're going to do it right. That's why we're not on the Po, we're not on the Elba. We know those rivers are problematic, and you really can't sell them, because they're so problematic. We pulled out of Russia because we couldn't deliver the experience, even though it's the fastest selling product. We left the ship in Myanmar because of what was going on in Myanmar. We will do what's best for you and your clients. And it's with Amma, it's not always about the bottom line. It's about, I want to be able to see Virginia next time and she'll be happy to see me. I want to be able to walk into a travel agency and not throw my hat through the door to see if they step on it, right? I want to enjoy my job. Christine wants to enjoy her job, and Rudy has a lot of pride in what we do. So that is the focus of the company.
And I'm going to add something. Foodies, if you have food people, put them on Amma.
We don't freeze anything, right? All of our fish is fresh. We source everything locally. And I don't know if the river cruise line could do it. I challenged, because a competitor of ours challenged me on that. And he was so really successful in his argument how you cannot deliver fresh fish that I was on our ship with our chief chef, and he grabbed me by my collar, brought me back into the big, huge coolers where all the fish is packed. And each fillet has a stamp on it when it was packaged and when it has to be served by. So you have 2 days once it gets on the ship to serve that fish. If you don't serve it by that date, an inspector comes up on board, you're fined per fillet a penalty.
Whoa.
So when we first started the company, we did it where we'd supply the ship in the first port and then thaw stuff out. But you can't deliver a good culinary experience. I tell you what, this isn't a setup. I have this river cruising guide rating 400 ships, Berlitz guide.
Yep.
They really talk about our culinary experience on board. If any of you on this call would like this book, my email is Gary@Amma Waterways. I'll find some and I'll get them to you. Just give me your address, Gary@Amma Waterways, and read about all the other ones in here and then see what they talk about it. It's also a great guide because it talks about all the ports. It has different maps and distances. So I'll send you the book.
That's amazing.
Great.
Chantal, we have time for one more question, but I also want to add to Gary's comment. We have learned so much as travel advisors. What happens when we pick up the phone and call customer service with a supplier in the last 11 months? If you pick up the phone and call Amma, you will not be disappointed. They are friendly, they are knowledgeable, they are there to help you and to educate you as well. So that in a nutshell, to me, also says use this company, because the person on the other end is there to assist. And we all know, we've learned that has not been our experience across the board in the last 11 months. So moving forward, those are the folks that I want to do business with, is the ones that are receptive on the other end of the line.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Chantal,
Okay, so
one more, and then we got to get on to KHM at home so you guys can see the most delicious thing I made.
absolutely. This is, well, maybe it's not easy. So Gary, what is your favorite Christmas market cruise?
That's
like
hard.
asking me what my favorite daughter is. I do have a favorite, but I'm not going to ever say who it is. It could be one of the markets in Cologne, or no, you know what? It's Vienna. I think Vienna has 14 different markets, and it's just great to bounce around. But there's, the glue wine mug. Real quickly, I'm sorry, Karen. The glue wine mug. You pay €3, you get a glue wine mug. It's unique to each market. They're like almost homemade, and you give them back, and you get €1 back, right? With the glue wine, the hot mulled spiced wine. All the guests bring them back on the ships because they think they can bring them all home. At the end of the Christmas market cruise, our crew was literally gathering up all these glue wine. I went home once and my wife said, "Oh my God, this is beautiful. Why didn't you bring more home?" I didn't want to dare tell her I left like a dozen in the cabin. How do you do it? If you go to Christmas markets, make sure you have space in your luggage to bring stuff home.
Oh.
If you need more, Gary, I have a bunch in my cabinet.
Oh.
Give them to me. I'll take them back and I'll turn them in and get each.
Oh my gosh, you guys, great questions. And we'll be sure to look through the rest of them. And if you have additional ones, I'll be sure to send them off to Gary for a response for you. Thank you so much. I hope you're going to stay on because I want to share with you what I made this week for KHM at home. And, when we talked about having Gary and Amma Waterways on, the whole show just kind of developed around everything that Amma, I think, speaks for. Great food, music, love, camaraderie, connection with people. So the rest of our segments, you guys, are all kind of tailored around that. So this week for KHM at home, I made Amma's gluten-free almond cake. If you don't know, you can see tons and tons of recipes on the Travel Agent Portal. There's the most delicious food, but I tried to pick the one that I thought I'd be most successful at, which oddly enough was a gluten-free cake, which you guys know by now my family is half gluten-free, so this is not unusual for me. But baking at high altitude is extremely challenging. But I'm going to show you. So the video is posted in the Travel Agent Portal. The handout, the recipe you can get in the handout section of GoToWebinar. It'll also be in the portal. But I have to show you. So this is what is left of the cake. This is it. And the only reason this is left is because I told them not to eat it last night. And the recipe does say to put whipped cream on it or Greek yogurt, which I thought was interesting, and berries. So I do that when I eat it. But you can see this is only like a day old. And it's almost all gone. And it is the most delicious cake, and it's gluten-free. And it's not just for dinner, folks. Like, my family is eating it for breakfast because it kind of tastes like a spiced muffin. For lunch, I mean, I almost put duct tape on it so I could hear every time the cake plate was open to say, stop eating it. It's enough already. But truly, so fantastic stuff. You are feeling like you need to be on a river cruise, go to the website, download some recipes, and just give it a whirl, because there are some really delicious ones there. And what fun that you guys are providing to us. So thank you for that.
Very, very welcome. And thank you for this opportunity, all of you. And thank you for the business you send us our way. It's greatly appreciated.
Oh, well, we hope that you'll come back and join us again. This has been such fun and such a great
Anytime.
conversation.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
Gary.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bye-bye.
And you guys, I didn't share my screen with you, so you couldn't see the delicious picture. But there you have it. So I hope that you will go on and give, if not this recipe, a try another one, because it really was very fun to make. Next, I am so excited to welcome Lisa Leone, Membership Manager for KHM Travel Group, to the conversation. Lisa and I have never met before, so I'm excited for you to join us today. Can you share with all of our agents what you do at KHM and why they might reach out to you?
Sure, and thank you so much for having me on today. I'm so excited to be here. So I am the membership manager here at KHM, and I oversee the membership team as well as the billing team. And really, both teams are so amazing. So I always have to shout them out by name when I speak about my teams. On the membership team, we have Natalie, Sally, Tiffany, and Sierra. And then on the billing side, we have Amy and Julia. So really, they do the hard work, and I have to give them all the credit. I'm just, here to help support them. So what I do is, again, support my team members, and a little bit more reporting and analytics, looking at the number of new agents that we have coming on board, and kind of what that means for KHM as a company, and then as far as what the teams do and why an existing agent would contact us. So on the membership side, we don't get to talk to existing agents so much. We mostly deal with potential agents, answering their questions, and then getting them signed up when they're ready to join. So for our agents listening, you've probably spoken with us, when you were researching your host agencies. But from time to time, we'll hear from an existing agent, and we love hearing from them, and hearing how their journey is going. And then on the billing side, we hear from agents when anything having to do really with the membership recurring bill. So if you get a new credit card and you need to update your expiration date, you contact the billing team. If you're paying your fees annual and you want to switch to monthly or vice versa, you contact Amy or Julia, and they handle that for you.
Wonderful. Now, there was a large number of agents that joined in January. Can you share with agents, like, I just think this is fantastic, but such an interesting time to start this journey. What were some of the things you heard from these individuals in regards to why they wanted to start now?
Sure. So we were so excited. We have an awesome start to the year, bringing on 95 new agents in January. So we're still hearing some of the same things we've always been hearing as reasons for why someone wants to become an agent. The biggest ones being a love of travel and a love of planning, their own vacations or trips for family and friends. So those are still the top reasons that we're hearing. But I think it's really interesting that we're hearing people are realizing that there is going to be this pent up demand, and they want to get in on it. And they want to get in on it and get their education going and have that foundation first. And I find it interesting because that's exactly what we're telling people who do call and question, you know, if it's the right time. So to have potential travel agents tell us that same thing, it's really kind of cool. But we've always done a really good job at setting the expectation that, you know, you're not going to sign on as a travel agent and just have all these clients and all these bookings and make a ton of money right away. That, you know, it is something you have to work at. So really, you know, this last year has kind of helped us set the expectation, because I think no one's going into this thinking that that's going to happen. You know, travel agents are getting into this and knowing that they have to do their education first and getting familiar with the business. So, you know, that is kind of a bonus there. And we do get some experienced travel agents who have maybe come from another host agency. And, you know, I hesitate to say this because I don't want to sound negative, you know, but maybe they weren't getting the support that they needed from their previous host. And I think it became more apparent during this last year when support was so important. So they made the switch over to us, and, you know, that's something that we really pride ourselves on is that support, you know, that we offer our agents.
Absolutely. And I think that we hear that almost every day on Facebook, where agents are just so thankful for all the support they've received in the last 11 months. Do you mind playing a quick game with us, a little get to know you game?
Oh, I would love to.
Okay, so advisors that are on, Lisa and I planned this a little bit because it's a little hard to do off the cuff, but she is going to tell me 2 truths and a lie, and I have to figure out which one is the lie. Right? Yes. Which one is the lie? All right. Hit me with your best shot.
So here's my 3. I have been skydiving. My first job was at Dairy Queen, and I got my first passport stamp in Italy.
Ooh. Okay. I'm going to say, and which one is the lie? I'm going to say, wait, what was the first one again?
Skydiving. I've been skydiving.
No, you don't look like a skydiver to me. I'm going to say passport in Italy. I think it was stamped in another country.
You are right. I've been stamped in Canada, so
that's not that far from Ohio. Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to meet you in person, and we will one day soon, hopefully. But thank you so much for being here and for all you do for KHM and for agents. We appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you again for having me today.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Our next guest really needs no introduction. Desiree Stack is here with a fantastic tech tip and a surprise for everyone, for Valentine's Day, for Super Bowl, for President's Weekend, for every holiday that happens to happen in February.
You know what's funny, Carolyn, is that's not why we did this today. Actually, we usually start boot camp in the first month, well, in February, usually in like the last week of February. And I think that's kind of what triggered it for me, is I'm so used to getting ready for boot camp right now that it's just been on my mind a lot. So, and not only that, but, you know, sometimes when people ask me, how do you do it? How do you just get through your day? And honestly, my answer is a really great playlist. So I just kind of want to talk to you guys today a little bit about something that I love so much called Spotify. A lot of people will listen to their music on the radio or maybe on Apple Music or Pandora, if you will, but I really love Spotify. The reason is because you can listen to both podcasts and music. I'll be honest with you, Carolyn, I started with the free account with Spotify, and that was great, but the ads kind of got old after a while, especially if I was like getting into a podcast and just kind of listening a lot. So I did upgrade from my free account to my premium account just to be ad free. But why I like Spotify so much is that you can listen to music or podcasts, right? You can just search at any time if you're looking to find something that you're interested in. So for the travel agents, I found you could search agents, travel agents, cruise, cruising, and there's all kinds of awesome informational podcasts that I found of people I've never heard before, actually. So that's kind of cool. I also love that you can like other people's playlists. So Carolyn, if you make a playlist that, you know, you really want to share with me, I can just go onto your screen and like your playlist and have it in my playlist list, my playlist list. That sounds kind of funny. But so I love that so much that we made a playlist for you that I've been listening to all morning long. So I just have to show you guys. So Spotify is something that you could download, whether you have a Droid like me, or maybe you have an Apple or iPhone. You could just download Spotify. We're gonna give you I found a really cool YouTube video tutorial for beginners. If you don't have one yet, you can follow this YouTube video. But I just wanna show you guys how cool it is that we have a playlist for you called the Boot Camp General Sessions playlist. Okay, so I'm just kind of showing you here. If you've ever been to boot camp before, you know that we really like to dance and sing and have a lot of fun on the side in between sessions. And Madison always keeps us jamming to some of the best classics I've ever heard. Now, if you've never been to boot camp, you can kind of delight into this playlist to give you a taste of what to expect, right? But if you've been to boot camp, I think it's a lot of fun to listen to those songs during the day.
It's so fun. And I know when I am playing music during the day, I try too hard to be a DJ. And so I end up playing DJ the whole time instead of working. And so this is a way to click play. Every song is fantastic. Thank you, Madison, for all your hard work in putting this together. And I know you wanted to release this because of the boot camp, you know, feeling, and this is the time of year. And actually, February was my first boot camp last year.
That's
when
right.
we met for the first time. It's almost our 1-year anniversary of meeting. But for me, it actually, I said, oh my gosh, can we do this week? Because Amma names their ships after so many musical elements, and it just becomes this whole full circle thing. So it was kind of two things pulling us in the same direction to create something that was amazing.
Hey, Carolyn, you know what you just reminded me of? I don't know if our listeners have an Alexa at home, but Alexa is my assistant so that I'm not playing the music and getting distracted. Alexa does. And Alexa also works with your Spotify. So you can say, hey, Alexa, play the Boot Camp General Sessions playlist, and she'll start playing it for you. It's just so fun. And there's like hours of awesome music on there. So I hope you guys enjoy listening. We miss you, and we're thinking of you too. Don't worry.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Carolyn. See you guys soon.
This has been such a fun day and so uplifting. Gary was amazing and motivating, and I can't wait to get on an Amma ship. I hope you had as much fun as I did. Please join me next week as we welcome the brand that screams romance and positivity. Sandals will be here for a fun discussion. You guys have a great week. Be sure to do something just for you, and enjoy the rest of National Umbrella Day.